All right, here's part two. Part one is previously loaded. I should say previously on Boston Rob's live stream. We were talking about Free Willy, the 90s movie, the iconic Michael Jackson soundtrack singing 90s movie about an orphan boy who was a graffiti artist turned activist. Freeze a killer whale. Other live crash. Yeah. When I get phone calls, my lives crash. My apologies. But we were talking about Free Willy being an anti establishment, radical activist movie that taught kids good values. And in fact, you should watch it if you have not seen it. I didn't get into the news, and we started talking about woke, and Terry had said, woke is an agenda, and it's not. Woke is an understanding, I'd say, if anything. Woke is a mindset. Woke is, it's just like when they say Antifa. Uh, I'm not sure if people understand that Antifa means you're anti-fascist. That means you're against dictators, the layman's terms of that. So when they hear, that's why they've dubbed it Antifa, and they don't want to call it anti-fascist. And it's not like a roving gang or like a MS-13 or the Bloods and Crips, but it's people who are just anti-fascist, which hopefully all of America would be. We don't have authoritarian leaders here. We have some wannabe ones, but you'd hope everyone is anti-fascist. But that's why I watched the dude a long time ago talk about this and how the right conservatives, these alt-right people, they like to turn words what they call toxic. And they did that with Antifa. They turned anti-fascist into this thing where people were against being anti-fascist. Now, if you're against being anti-fascist, what does that make you? Fascist. So you got to be wary of the language. But I bring that up because hopefully everyone is Antifa, anti-fascist. If you're a proud fascist, you probably don't belong in America. But just like woke is not like this collective agenda of like a like a constitution or something. Woke is an understanding that like when I went to real estate school and they talked about redlining or how they were deeding in the deeds, they were putting that like no people of color could buy a house, and that was respected by law. That's the stuff I talk about being like woke. Woke means you understand that like that's our history. That our history at one point, if you sold a home, you could put in the deed like no black people can buy this house, and people respected that as like a fucking thing, which is nuts when you think about it. So woke is just understanding the long history of oppression and racism and the other systematic ways that we have just, as a collective, as a country, just really disenfranchised oppressed a lot of people. So woke is no agenda. Being woke means you comprehend that shit. You see through the lies. You see through the bulls. When certain white guys get out here and go, if I'm privileged, I certainly don't feel it. It's like, do you worry about getting pulled over when you leave your house? I'll tell you, I do, only because of my run-ins with the police for 40 years. So I answer that question quite differently. And, some people didn't believe me until they witnessed me get pulled over and had to break out the camera and start filming because of the reactions that were happening by certain authorities. But so just understand that. Alexa, hi. Zulian, Brahamaj, what's up? How are you? Solus, appreciate you being on top of stuff. I didn't see that, but so we're talking about Free Willy, radical anti-establishment movie, great movie. Watch it. I wish artists would do what Michael Jackson and artists like the artist on Judgment Night and the Crow soundtrack did, where they would collab and do mashup songs, original songs for movies. Seems to be just gone, long gone are the days of artists writing a song for a movie. Disney has its own machine where it pumps those out. But there's also some crazy news, like what Trump is saying about Liz Cheney, and I don't like Liz Cheney at all, but there are certain lines in the sand you got to draw, and they are drawn in the sand, which means you could kick that sand up. But this dude is all out, like, threatening people in crazy ways. If you didn't read it, I put it down below. And it's just amazing that anybody would support that. And if they do support it, do you support it for both sides? Because once that rhetoric or that language or that threatening stuff, which is, by the way, is not free speech. Free speech is not threatening people with harm or violence. That is not a protected thing. But once you start to support that, and then you support it on both sides, you got to understand that if you support it on your side, you got to support it on the other side. And once you do that, like, what if the gloves are just off? Are we just constantly in an all-out brawl? Is it just powerful people threatening each other with violence and harm? Is that the vision for the country? Because that's fucking concerning. I don't know anyone that can support him and fucking be like, oh yeah, I'm fine if people were threatening me like that. I'd like to think, like, if you got threatened like that, you'd be pretty put off. And especially it came from a position of that kind of power and a position of that kind of where you're supposed to be of service of people, Politicians are supposed to be public servants, and here they are threatening everybody. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. The other thing I wanted to point out, which is very important, is if you're against illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, or just illegals coming into the country, whatever fucking people call it, you should look at Elon Musk. He is an illegal immigrant in this country, meddling with election integrity. I've talked about that. He's been summoned to the state court in Pennsylvania, which he blew off on Thursday. He felt he was above the law, didn't need to go. And it wasn't something his lawyers could show up, by the way. This was something where Elon himself needed to be present. That guy doesn't have to take a public bus like some people would have to take to court. He's got a private jet and drivers. He's got his robo-taxis and robots and his AIs. And that dude blew it off. So not only does he not respect our judicial system, but this motherfucker even said in his own writing, just like when he was the one who said he used to carry around emeralds in his pocket and then denied it and tried to scrub the web of his dad being part owner of an emerald mine, and people just believe whatever he says. But this motherfucker, and again, link down below, and I've known this for a while because there's people on YouTube who have done videos about how he is an illegal immigrant, how he went from South Africa to Canada and then came to the United States, applied to Stanford, took no classes, and just started working, which is a different visa, never got it, and has stayed here since. So he is an illegal immigrant who is fucking meddling with our affairs. He does not have a right to be here. And in the article I put down below, it's in his own writing. He says it himself. He says something along the lines of, quote, like, and I had no right to be here working legally. So this is well-documented stuff. And if you care for, if you're not just the person who just wants their team to win, because I don't think that's how a country should be run. I don't think countries are about teams. I think countries are about communities and building that. And if you care about any kind of sense of community in this country, you would recognize that Elon Musk is an illegal immigrant, his own self-proclamation of that, here still in our country. And in fact, there's some talk about maybe him becoming denaturalized because of these admitted facts, and if they just look into it a little bit more. But this guy fucking doing things that he just has no regard for anybody. It's all about him winning, staying out of jail, whatever he's fearing. That's why he jumped on the Trump bandwagon so hard. Because remember, this was Elon Musk who, a year ago or something, when Ron DeSantis was eyeing a run at president, remember, Elon Musk said Trump needs to hang up his hat and just sail into the fucking sunset. And he said he is way too old to be running. He shouldn't be holding power. He shouldn't be in any political office, never mind the highest one in the land. That's Elon Musk. That's what he said. Why'd he change his tune? Well, it's not because Trump's getting younger. I think he's got some kind of fire up his ass. He's got a hair up his ass, and he knows there's some kind of trouble pounding down on him. So that's why he's trying to buy himself a political appointment. Yeah, I hate Elon Musk. But it's just fascinating that, like, this is what I think a lot of people's problem with Biden and Trump is. Trump's going to be the oldest dude, or is the oldest dude running for president. I don't want an 80 to 100-year-old running this country. No offense, but if you don't know any 80 to 100-year-olds, they should just be fucking sitting and drinking coffee somewhere watching the sunrise, okay? They shouldn't be running this country. And the mental decline on that dude, both of them, Biden and Trump, and they're slurring and they're all that. I mean, the dude, just fucking hang it up. They're not, because I think there's legal troubles that they're very worried about. But this was everybody's problem with Biden. How come nobody's addressing this? And this is even Elon Musk, what he said. He said Trump is way too old to be doing this shit. We need leaders that are like JFK, like in their mid 30s, early 40s. We need people who can understand what's going on right now, who don't have, remember, this dude is what, 80 something or almost 80 something? That means when he was 40, that was in the 80s. He was 40 in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, that dude is way too fucking old to be the head of anything. He could just be the head of a family. That's it. But Elon only wants Trump as president for power. That's it. Power. It is a puppet show. The whole thing is a puppet show. But I don't want to puppet. Some YouTuber said just statistically. Remember, statistically, like the lifespan for adult males in America is not that high. And they said statistically, this dude's like chances of surviving another 4 years are not the best, you know? And they're just natural causes shit. Just like eating McDonald's for your life. Like, this dude is way too motherfucking old. But I wanted to bring those news stories. There's another news story. He drank the potion. There's another news story about a horrifying one. I don't really want to go into it, but a teenager that passed away after a miscarriage in Texas because she was denied treatment. She went to 2 or 3 different ERs. They denied her treatment because the abortion bans are so crazy and strict for doctors. They could face, I forget what the fine is, or up to 99 years in jail, that she couldn't get treatment and she ultimately died. And this, again, is Trump's America. I mean, the fact that women just don't have a choice in things is just fucking so beyond me, you know? It's not about what I want. It's about, you know, because I just couldn't imagine people. You got to think, if you were in that position, man, would you want anyone choosing what you could do with your body? That's fucking nuts. Nobody should have that power. Not in the land of the free. Remember, that's what we like to call ourselves. So I think, you know, women should be able to choose, and Trump is very anti that. He's appointing the judges that are, you know, rolling back these Roe v. Wade, rolling back these things, putting women's lives in danger. And to hear about a teenager in Texas passing away because doctors wouldn't even treat her for their fear of punishment just says a lot about fucking how much these people care about our communities. So, those are some of the news stories I wanted to hit. The bigger thing was, yo, go check out Free Willy. I gotta go run some more errands, and then I'm going home and making my kids watch it with me. Actually, no. Fortnite has a big live event tonight, and then there's a big update tomorrow. So if you play Fortnite, yo, hit me up on the Discord. Let's play some games. New update tomorrow. I'll try to live stream. My son will probably be playing most of the time. Solus, if you're on, let's hit up some Fortnite. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope you had a great Halloween. I'm going to post some more videos of Halloween in Salem. I was with a group. It was very hard to film stuff. And I was too busy taking pictures and videos of my kids and my wife. So I was having a good time. Hope you guys had an amazing Halloween. And I think Day of the Dead is tomorrow. So if you celebrate, here's to you. Remember your loved ones. Terry, so good to see you. I'll try to catch one of your lives. I feel like every time I see a notification, your live has already ended. I'll watch it anyways, but I want to catch one of them live. So thank you. Check out Terry's channel too. Much love, much respect. Peace.